everybody, my name is Vito Bell. If you're new to this channel, I am 20 years old going to school for music and Spanish in North Carolina, and I love wet shaving. Oh my gosh. I've just recently started doing these videos and it's been so much fun, and I'm so grateful that I get to share this part of my life with y'all. I'm so grateful for the feedback, and I'm really excited to make new connections with more people and just to really get into it. So speaking of getting into it, before we get into this video, I'd like to thank everyone for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for clicking. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the support. And I'd like to thank my girlfriend for this awesome Frankie Ruiz t-shirt. If you don't know who Frankie Ruiz is, you should check him out. He is a salsa singer. He is the salsa singer. Oh my gosh, he's so awesome. I'll put a link to one of his one of my most favorite songs by him in the description, and I would just like to say I'll leave it at that. So jumping right into the video. This video is centered around the idea. First of all, the title is "Why is Shaving Irritating? Troubleshooting Your Shave." So this is the second video in a series of 4 videos that I will be making about troubleshooting your shave. So my inspiration behind this is I know several people, a few people that are kind of hesitant about getting into wet shaving just because they've had bad experiences with it in the past. Whether it's with cartridge razors or safety razors, it's just they've experienced tugging and pulling or razor burn, or their faces are sensitive. And I just want to put it out there that anyone can get a good shave. I think that there are, looky here, the 4 factors. I think that there are 4 major factors that go into what makes a good shave. And I think that if everyone can kind of get a good grip of these 4 things, then anyone can get an amazing shave. And I'm just so passionate about this, and I'm always so blown away to say, what? You're not getting it? You're so hesitant to try just because you've had bad experiences in the past? And you know, I love it so much, and I've had such amazing experiences that I just want to share it with the world. So getting right into this video in particular, this is, like I said earlier, the second video in the series of 4. My last one was about lather. If you're curious, go and watch it. I had a lot of fun putting it together. I'm trying to structure these kind of like a presentation. I'd love to hear your feedback on it. And this video in particular is about technique. I'm sorry, instruments. Whoops. I might cut that. Okay, here we go. Instruments. So, first of all, we're looking at the razor. So, if your razor is too aggressive, it will leave your face feeling raw. So if you get to the end of a shave with a safety razor and your face is feeling raw, you might want to get either a less aggressive razor or watch my technique part of this video set. Moving on, if your razor is not aggressive enough, you will feel as though it is pulling your hair rather than cutting. So if you, during your shave, feel your hair is getting pulled out, then you might want to go for a more aggressive razor. And like I said before, this is with safety razors. So moving on, getting more in depth into this aggressive and not aggressive thing. The open comb versus closed comb. So an open comb razor is good for longer growth. So if your beard hair grows longer, or any kind of body hair grows long, then an open comb will make it a more pleasurable experience to cut longer hair. Now a closed comb means it's less aggressive, but not as effective for, and also not as effective for longer growth. So for example, using closed comb versus open comb, if it's been a week since I've shaved, which doesn't happen often, but when it does, I use my open comb razor. This is also a slant open comb razor, so super aggressive. Let's take a closer look at that in this PowerPoint here. Yeah, this one. So this is an open comb. If you look at the teeth, they're open, when compared to this. That is a closed comb. And so if it's been a while since I've shaved, I'll use an open comb. If I shaved yesterday, then I'll use a closed comb. Also, the second picture, if you can get an adjustable razor, these are so much fun to play around with. You can adjust how aggressive you want your shave to be, how not aggressive you want it to be, and this adjuster basically adjusts the blade reveal of your razor. And so the more reveal, the more aggressive; less reveal, the less aggressive. Pretty simple. If you're curious whether you need a more aggressive or less aggressive razor, but you don't want to buy a plethora of razors, then you could just get one of these adjustable ones, or find one at an antique store, which is what I do. It'll give you a better idea of what you need and when you need it. So going back to the razor, beware of a warped razor. So this is something that I didn't realize was hurting my shaves until it was too late. So if you look here, the picture of the right, ignore the cracked handle here. Well, we're talking about warped razors, not cracked razors. So the picture on the right has open teeth, yes. And look how straight this bar is. Really straight, right? Look at this side. This was something I didn't really think would make a difference, but it really does. If you look right here, right in the middle, kind of off to the right, you'll see a warp in the cap of this this razor. Now, due to this warp, I don't use that side to shave. I only use the side that is shown in the picture on the right. I have perfect shaves with this. I don't have any problem with this, but if you're buying razors from antique stores, like I mentioned earlier, you might want to look out for warped razors. So if you bought a razor from an antique store and you've gotten horrible shaves from it, try not to blame it on yourself. Don't blame it on wet shaving. Don't blame it on yourself. You might be able to blame it on the razor. Not saying all the time, but you might be able to blame it on the razor. Next up, if open comb isn't aggressive enough, try slant bar. Now, I don't own a slant bar razor, but I do own a slant bar razor. I'm sorry, it's kind of late. This is a slant bar razor. This makes it very, very, very aggressive. Pretty much they've taken the blade. I do have a blade here I can demonstrate. Generally, blades, when they're put in the razor, are bent like this. Now in a slant bar razor, they're bent like this. Like that. That makes it really, really aggressive. So if you just can't get aggressive enough, try getting one of these slant bar razors. It might be what you're looking for. Alright, looked at those. Moving on to the blade. So if your blade is too aggressive, your face will be raw. Just like the razors. If it's too aggressive, you'll be raw. If it's not aggressive enough, it'll pull your hair. Now, if you're going to a local drugstore, a convenience store, and you're buying those blades, you might find that they're not aggressive enough. So try some other blades before blaming it on the razor or wet shaving. Don't blame it on wet shaving. Also avoid too many uses. If you kind of just put the blade in there and forget about it, like I sometimes do, you might start to see the quality of your shave go down over time, which is something that I'm very familiar with. Some people I've heard of, they strop their blades on a pair of jeans. I've never really tried that before, although I'm sure it works. A lot of people say it works. Other people have a Sharpie marker, and every time they use it, they'll make it tick. Other people have these strict rules about flipping it, like, okay, on the first tick I'll flip it like this, on the second tick I'll flip it like this. I don't think that hard about it. I might in the future, but as of right now I don't really. But those are things that you should think about, or could think about, if you think your razor isn't, if you think your blade isn't giving you what you need it to. What was I going to say? Yeah, as a rule of thumb, I guess 5 or 6 shaves with a blade is what most people get. Now, if you have really thick, excessive, fast-growing hair, then you'll probably want to go with fewer shaves or consider the gene stropping technique. Other than that, I would stick with 5 or 6 shaves. Also, check it for nicks and irregularities. So before I shave, I like to look at the blade and say, did I drop this without realizing it? Did my cat knock it off the shelf and then my girlfriend or roommate pick it up off the ground and not realize that there's a nick on the blade? I would check it just for the sake of checking it. I think generally it's safe inside of the razor, but might as well check it. I'd hate to have a bad experience because of a nicked blade. So, brushes. Moving on. What kind of brush are you using? So, in my opinion, don't be afraid to purchase an inexpensive name brand bristle brush to get a feel for, what's a boar brush like? Well, buy a $10 boar brush. Omega, Razor boar brushes, they're extremely, extremely inexpensive. And I've had this one for like a very long time, and I just love this brush. I love boar brushes. I never thought that a boar brush could get so soft, but it does over time. Oh my gosh. Purchase an inexpensive boar brush, and I personally don't get good lathers out of synthetic brushes. It's been a while since I've used a quality synthetic brush, but when it comes to lathering, I get a much better lather with natural bristle brushes. That might also be because I don't practice with synthetic brushes. I'm sorry. I might start practicing with synthetic brushes more and see if I can't figure out some ways to get better lathers with them. So don't be afraid to purchase an inexpensive name brand brush. I wouldn't buy an inexpensive non-name brand brush, like from a drugstore or something. That probably is not what you're looking for, and you'll probably have half the bristles fall out before you get it halfway broken in, and it'll just be a terrible experience. I've seen some from some drugstores. I have some friends that bought one, and it was just scratchy. All the bristles were falling out. I wouldn't trust drugstore cheap brushes. Definitely go name brand like Omega or Razor. I would say are good starts. There are plenty of others, but those are the top 2 I can think off the top of my head. Moving on, is your natural brush broken in or not? Some people don't know that you have to break in a natural hair brush. They get their brush in the mail and they're like, ooh, that smells like a dead boar. I'm gonna throw it out and get a new one. Well, don't be afraid. It's a wonderful smell. They're wonderful brushes. Do some research, break it in. I think it's really fun, and it's really fun to watch the progress. So, I think breaking in a brush will give you a better shaving experience for sure. I think that's almost undeniable. And lastly, in terms of brush, like I said earlier, brand definitely matters when you're starting. I would say when you're starting. When you're starting, try and go with brand name things, just because doing that will give you a better idea of where the standard is in the market. So if you buy a few standard brushes for standard price, then you'll understand that when you buy a super expensive brush, you'll find out, oh my gosh, it really is worth the money. And when you buy like a super cheap brush from a drugstore, you'll say, oh my gosh, I'm never doing this again. Because you understand what the standard is. So when you're starting out, I'd say brand matters. In the end, I think it's super awesome to support new businesses and new creative businesses that are doing the shaving thing. For this industry to progress, we need to support new businesses. So that's why I say brand matters in the beginning. Definitely don't let that hold you back in the long run. Well, other than that, I don't think I have really any more to say about this. This video in particular was geared towards safety razors. I'm the first person to tell you that I don't know barely anything about straight razors. So when I'm talking about instruments, I mean safety razors, blades, and brushes. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Oh my, this is a 15-minute long video already. probably longer with the intro I'm going to put on. Thank you so much for watching if you stuck this long. Like I said earlier, I've just been blown away with everyone's support recently, and I love seeing the comments. I love replying to the comments. It makes me just, oh my gosh, feel so excited to keep doing this and so like in touch with the community, and it's just so exciting. I'm so grateful for your support. Speaking of support, if you're interested in supporting this channel, please like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and recommend it to others, and comment. I love the comments. Oh my gosh, that's probably the coolest support I could ever get. Other than that, thanks again. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, or if you have any things you'd like to see me do or think I could do better, please let me know. I'm always interested in learning. And have a nice evening. Happy shaving. Have a great day. Thank you again. I'll see you next time.